Hey, Blue Table fans. Okay, here's the deal. For a while now, I've had a thing where I've found locals to come here to my wonderful yet humble studio, use my terrain, sometimes my armies, to do battle reports. Because everybody loves battle reports, and quite frankly, I'm not doing them as much nowadays. Although I may get back into the swing of it at some point in time. So originally I gave the people that came to do the battle reports, gave them a little incentive. I ordered kits for them. So they would come and do a battle report, and then they would get kits that I ordered ahead of time and had there usually when they showed up. And that worked out pretty good, and some great battle reports came out of it. But I didn't really chase it down. So now I'm putting out a much broader net for it. I was like, oh, you wouldn't have to do it here. Anybody could do it. So I'm looking for battle reporters. And what would happen is you would make the battle reports for Blue Table Painting. You would be not officially part of Blue Table Painting, but in spirit, you would be part of what we have going on. And you would make the battle reports for us. And you would be paid. Oh, and that's the difference, is when I first started doing it, I would do kits, and then I was just like, I'll just, you know, it turns it's money anyway. So that's how it works. And I have a blog page that I made that talks about the specifics of it. You know, standards. And I do have standards. For example, you need to narrate the game. And that's the number one thing that's most important, is you can't just have the camera on and just be rolling dice without explanation. You need some chatter. People need to be able to, not be looking but still know what's going on. You have to kind of sportscast it. And you have to have dice, 20 millimeter dice, which are the larger dice, pipped dice. Each player needs their own separate colors of dice. It needs to be clean language, obviously. All this is on the blog page. I'm just sort of getting some of the basics out there. Your models need to be painted. The terrain needs to look good. So you will need some equipment for this. But the fact is, if you do 10 battle reports, which you'll send to me, we'll figure out a way for you to send them to me. You don't have to do any editing. And in fact, I'd prefer it if you just gave me a bunch of files that I could just string together and I could just put them up. And let's see here. Camera work is really good. Like, it took me a while, like when I was doing the battle reports with Rich Kilton, who, by the way, is doing great on like the national circuit nowadays with his orcs. He's still stomping around with his orcs and doing really well. And some people are like, well, why don't you have a battle report with him? And he's ready to do it. I even got him where he would come up to Salt Lake. He's about an hour away. And that seems unfair to have the more talented person do the driving. But anyway, let's see here. So you need to have good camera work. And that drifting is like the big thing. Like, someone is talking about the game and then they're looking at it, but the camera just slides off into nothingness. I'm like, no. You got to look through the thing and make sure people see the right thing, and that you're bringing the camera out so they can see the whole table. They're moving in, and that's the style of battle report that we're trying to create. We're trying to create a table-side feel to it, as if the person watching it was at the table side. And we make our battle reports longer. We include a lot of the nonsense. The other thing is, I call it the beer commercial thing, which is like, well, you should be having a good time. Like, if you have a rules dispute, keep that off camera. You know, turn the camera off, figure it all out in 20 minutes or whatever, and then turn the camera back on. And be having a good time and be cheerful. And, you can show the pizza arriving, but you cannot show the pizza guy's face, because I don't need that kind of trouble. And you'll have an agreement with me. You'll have like a signed thing saying I can put your image on my channel. Another thing is, there can't be brand logos on t-shirts. Anyway, it's all written down, and I'm willing to pay a little bit more as your battle reports are more seasoned and more interesting. But that's what I need. I would absolutely love that. And I would definitely, if I found, 2, 3, or 4 guys or gals to do battle reports, and they got better and better. No, wait a minute. Where's that going with that? Well, anyway, that's what it is. So contact me if you're interested. The email is in the liner notes.